Yeah, we're jaded when it comes to space now. I I watched that Saturn V along with what? I think there was 3.1 billion people on the earth at that time. I remember beaches around across the river from the launch site. I remember beaches that had 200 200 Samba buses, Volkswagen Samba buses, all parked together like a giant campground. I remember video of a young woman washing out a frying pan on the beach. I remember the crowd around launch control. I remember there were 50 senators and mayors from all over the world. I remember seeing pictures of every people from every country standing in awe that mankind was about to land on the moon. We were about to send people, humans, to the moon. I remember the tension. I remember, my mother making sure that I didn't miss a single moment of what was happening for the entire week. Yeah, I remember it very clearly. That's how I'm old, but I remember it very clearly. I remember it very clearly. I've always been a person who was interested in space travel, that type of thing. And it goes all the way back to when I was 3 years old when I learned about my first commercial. I tell that story that I was watching Captain Satellite, and the rocket took off, and it said that if you bought this cereal that you would get a rocket. And when I made my mom, all I could think about was getting one of those rockets. And my mom brought the cereal to me, and I couldn't wait to open it up because I thought there was going to be a rocket in there. Of course, that's how you think when you're just a young kid. And it was a little plastic rocket. Of course, they couldn't sell it now because it was as sharp as a needle and on a very powerful spring that you jammed it down there and it got latched. And when you hit a button, this incredibly sharp needle went flying off and would hit the ceiling, okay? I don't know how many kids' eyes were taken out by that thing. Ah, yeah, heady times, man. That's when people, it wasn't an everyday occurrence, man. Apollo 11 was it. It was going to be, it was going to be the moment that changed the history of mankind. And then we went a few more times and never went back. And now I believe the only reason we're going back is for the same reason we went the first time, that it's a geopolitical fucking race. You see, I didn't see it as that when I was a young kid watching. I didn't see that as the wherewithal for why it took a decade and $1 billion to put man on the moon. I didn't really think of it as we have to beat the Russians. And although I remember Sputnik and the furor it caused, yeah. And now here we have, and something else. It was a joke. It was a literal science fiction. It was used in almost all science fiction movies that these rockets would take off like this vertically, and then when they landed on any other strange planet of prehistoric women, or the Angry Red Planet, or any of those movies, the spaceship landed on its tail. And everyone knew that that was fantasy and it was impossible to do. And yet here we are today. It's an everyday occurrence, and not just an everyday occurrence, but a reusable occurrence. You see, this is one advantage of being old, is that all of the history and all of the things that make up my life of 70 years I get these little fucking kids on here. They're like, dude, you're like half my age and you're like so bitter. No, I'm not bitter. I know the truth. Unfortunately for mankind, the truth is very fucking disgusting. We've destroyed our planet. We've destroyed mankind. We've destroyed our ways of government. We've destroyed our future. We pretty much destroyed, despoiled, ruined everything while we had one fucking war after another, one conflict after another. The fact that Saturn V left that morning was because we needed to beat Russia to the moon. It had nothing to do with making mankind's future better. That is the truth. I'm not jaded and I'm not bitter. I know the truth. And for me to not speak the truth goes against my nature. What everyone in my home and my friends know is that the persona you see here is not who I am when this camera turns off. I don't use the word fuck in my house. I don't use it with my friends. I started that to defeat the AI at YouTube. And it's become very cathartic for me. And now I enjoy it. You should try it. Yeah. You see, knowing the truth of the folly of mankind and what we've done to our planet, what we've done to our societies, how we've allowed ourselves to be abused and used by a system of capitalism, of unfettered, fetishized purchasing. That continual and absolute growth is the only way for mankind to exist, etc., etc. No, it's not. I'm not bitter. I understand the truth. And I'm willing to speak it. There are too many happy, smiley looks of idiotic fucking glee on TV, YouTube, and everywhere else, okay, that is all happy-go-lucky. Look how happy, happy, happy. That's not reality. That's not reality. We're destroying the fucking planet for future generations. And if I didn't say something about that as much and as many times as I could, I feel that I would be disappointing myself, that I wouldn't be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Period. Never, ever, ever be afraid to speak the truth because it's ugly, because of what people might think of you, okay? I've told many people here who tried to tell me, oh, that's not true. I will debate you anytime, anywhere on the condition of mankind, what we're doing. I will debate you anytime, anywhere on the economic system we have in place right now. I will debate you anytime, anywhere on the system of energy we have right now. Anytime, anywhere. No one has ever taken me up on that. Because I think if you watch 15 years of my video, what you're going to find out is I'm very fucking well informed on the folly of mankind and where it's leading us. And that every bit of it is true, and I can prove it. The numbers are there. The plastic is on Mount Everest and in my blood. So when I talk about oil companies facilitating the destruction of vast swaths of bird paradises that used to be bird paradises, they're now dying because their guts are full of plastic. They can't be digested. Yeah, I know the truth. See? What you see here is my privilege that I give myself. It's cathartic. It's my therapy. I've told everyone that for many years. This is my therapy here. I get to be this person that you see here. I consider myself the richest, luckiest man in the world. And most don't understand that concept with what I produce as content, okay? Because what I produce isn't content. It's simply the truth of the world and my life. As simple as that. Okay? The truth will set you free, but you don't hear that it also sucks.